Hey everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small, and today I'm rather excited to have a new game in the studio. This is Blood Red Skies, the Battle of Midway. This is like, I don't know if they're calling it second edition Blood Red Skies or what, but this is kind of a, we'll call it a second edition of Blood Red Skies. I don't know if the rules have changed much since first edition, but obviously the theme has. So this is a starter box. The first Blood Red Skies starter box was basically themed for the Battle of Britain, had Spitfires and Messerschmitts. This version has the Battle of Midway, so that's the Imperial Japanese Navy versus the United States Navy. The Pacific Theater is my favorite theater for military history and lore. It's one of the areas that I know probably the most about. So I was very excited to hear the release, that this was going to be a release. I did purchase a long time ago the metal Wildcats when they came out, but I wasn't too impressed with the sizing and scaling. There are some videos on my channel from years back when we looked at that, but these apparently are all new sculpts, and we'll take a close look at them. So again, I'm kind of excited for this box set. I've been waiting for it for a long time. I think it's been delayed because of COVID or shipping or whatnot, but it's finally in the studio. All right, so obviously here in the front we have some cool artwork, some Wildcats and Zeros tangling. The background, that is the USS Yorktown. I can tell just by the paint scheme, plus it was the only of the American carriers to come under attack during the Battle of Midway. There's a Kate torpedo plane and a Val dive bomber there. Obviously some of this is done for dramatic purposes, not entirely historically accurate, as those two planes never attacked at the same time. Alright, so I'll try not to bug you with all the minutia of the trivia. Okay, so we've got on the back, contents. Alright, we've got 6 Warlord Resin F4F Wildcat fighters, 6 Warlord Resin A6M2 Zero fighters, 12 Advantage flying bases, 1 Battle of Midway rulebook, 2 quick reference sheets, plastic tokens and templates, 6 aircrafts cards, 42 action cards, 12 combat dice, 1 self-adhesive aircraft markers sticker sheet, 1 water slide aircraft markers decal sheet, card game token, scenery, target, and aircraft markers. Okay. And we can kind of see, again, with some of the contents laid out, kind of like how the game is played. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. We have the quick reference sheet. I guess we'll take a little bit closer look at that. We have the Battle of Midway book, a game of World War II fighter combat. That's pretty cool. That, of course, is the USS Hornet there, designed by Andy Chambers, a prolific game designer, also from 40K, Games Workshop fame, which is cool. We'll take a closer look at that. Then we have the box. We've got some of these guys loose, but not a big deal. We'll take a closer look at the fighters in a second. Let's work through this. So we got Morgan to thank for packing our box. Thanks, Morgan. These look like the stickers. So if you just want to play right out of the box, you don't care to paint them, pop your stickers on, you're good to go. Heck, you probably don't even need stickers if you don't want. So this is the decal sheet. Now I don't think the original box came with decals. If I remember right, it just came with stickers, but at first glance, this decal sheet is pretty good. It's not just stars and circles. It's actually, you've got the tail codes for the Japanese planes and fuselage bands. You've got the squadron and aircraft numbers or I guess just aircraft numbers for the Americans. Very cool. Then we've got the unit cards. We've got the action cards, some dice. You've got the cool little bases. If you've never played this game before, there really isn't like units taking damage or a damage track for the airplanes. They're either advantaged, neutral, or disadvantaged, and when a disadvantaged plane is further disadvantaged, it's out of the game. So you've got 12 of those. We'll lift this out for a moment. Down here we have some plastic, and I think this was all cardboard in the first version. You know, to measure your movement, measure your shooting, bombs. I don't know what that's going to be for. I think that's for turning, if I remember right. But anyway, very nice. I like it that it is in nice hard plastic. Then we have these go into the bases. You have boom chits, all that kind of stuff. Okay, then, so this is kind of new. The first version didn't have this either. It's got cardboard cutouts for some Val dive bombers and some Dauntless dive bombers, and then some ship objectives. And that's pretty cool. If those are the objectives, I could actually use my GHQ miniatures that are a little bit bigger scale than this, but obviously would look much nicer than cardboard. But very nice that they include that, so you can see some of that cool detail. And then as an airplane game, you still want some terrain, so there's a punch out with some card. It's pretty nice and thick. You got some islands on the back side, so really nice. All right, let's put that to the side for a moment. Got all kinds of good stuff. So far I'm impressed with the amount of content we get here. All right, so we have 6 Wildcats, 6 Zeros. Now this was advertised as Warlord Resin. Let's get in here. You can see some of that detail. It's advertised as Warlord Resin, but it's pretty flexible. I don't know if you can see that, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it feels more like plastic. Very nice. Got some detail under the engine cowling. I always liked the Wildcat. I mean, my favorite World War II aircraft would have to be the Corsair. But I always liked the Wildcat for its kind of underdog status. It's this short little stubby thing, but it was tough. It could take a hit. And that's what the Navy, US Navy used during its darkest hours when the odds were against it. It was that Wildcat that held the line against the Japanese. So very nice. I like the model. I think we will maybe towards the end of this pull out the old metal one and compare the size. All right, let's look at the Japanese. So it's white, so it's kind of hard to tell. It has some cotton or something on it. Kind of hard to see the detail. Detail looks good though. Looks like there's going to be some trimming needed on some of these wings. Or just pull that right off. That one's going to need some trimming. But hey, you can't expect models to not have a little bit of cleanup involved. So I don't know how this thing, if I'll use this thing, I probably won't. The plane seemed to slide around quite a bit in there. once they're painted. But yep. Okay, so that's the aircraft for now. We'll revisit that again when we compare it to the first edition's stuff. Alright, so these are basically cards. Some of these have traits, like I think the Wildcat has the robust trait. This isn't going to be a how to play or anything like that, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it. But if we take a look here, we've got unit cards. Very tightly packed, which is nice. And you got the Dauntless, the Devastator, the Zero, the Val, the Kate, the Wildcat. It is kind of funny that they do put Nakajima B5N. Nakajima is the manufacturer of the Kate. And the Kate is the American code name for this plane. Val is the same thing. They put that in, in quotes, but they didn't do it for the Kate. But it's all, those are all the Allied code names for these. Well, while the Val was made by Aichi, it's like AACHE, and the Zero, of course, is made by Mitsubishi. But they didn't put that. So I wonder why they put that there. I guess it was just too short otherwise. All right, not complaining, just a little historical nitpick. Those all look pretty cool. All right, so you got the units there. We talked about the decal sheet. So the rules are kind of nice. Have nice color photos. I did also order the these airplanes, the dive bombers and torpedo planes. So you do have an unboxing to look forward to on that. So not bad. And here's the table of contents. The playing the game is just what is that, about 7 pages, and then expanded rules, add another 4 or 5, and then Blood Red Skies expansions, aces and whatnot, and then you have a bunch of scenarios and more stuff. Cool. We've got some history here, the Midway Air Order of Battle. That's very cool. All right, rulebook looks good. Look forward to getting into that. Quick reference sheet, activation order, worst pilots to best pilots. The higher the number, the worse the pilot is. And then advantage, neutral, and disadvantage. So that's your activation order. That's cool. All the instructions on how to play. Quick reference sheet for movement and shooting. Oh, see, that was the turning. Very cool. So those are always handy to have a quick reference sheet, especially for someone like me who plays multiple systems. I need all the help I can get sometimes. All right, so that's a look at the contents. I'm very pleased with the overall contents of the box so far. The planes look good. All the extra stuff looks good. So I'm looking forward to painting these and getting them out on the table, which is pretty cool. That looks like a plastic model. I guess that's a plastic model too. I wonder if that's the one 350 scale trumpeter USS Hornet. Kind of looks like it. I have one of those in my garage that I haven't built yet. Okay. Let's go ahead and dig out the airplanes from the previous version and do a just quick comparison. Okay, so here are the models from the new kit. And this is a metal version, and this is the old plastic version. And we can see kind of the difference here. The Zero is dramatically bigger and more to scale than, I'm lining up the one wingtip and you can kind of see the difference there. A really fun little model. I actually liked it quite a bit, but it just drove me nuts that these two were not in scale with each other. Now the Wildcat to Wildcat looks pretty much spot on. So hey, I've got more Wildcats in the box. So, and that from, it's been a little while since I busted out my models, but that is much more accurate. These two planes did have almost the same wingspan, and you can kind of see that the rounded tips of the Zero make it a little bit wider or bigger wingspan, but there you go. But detail wise, I think I like this Zero better. Now this one, I can't remember if this was the A6M2 or the A6M5. I forget how they sold it. The M5 was a later version, but either way, dimension-wise, they're going to be the same. The Wildcat model is, this has some primer on it. Looks pretty good. I mean, the metal one looked pretty good too, but the plastic one looks really good as well. So, all right, there you go, guys. That is a look at Blood Red Skies starter box. I'm going to make this video a little short because I want to also do an unboxing for the other planes that came with this release. And as right now, we've got that we can we can show you guys next. These guys will probably show up on the painting table here in the next week or two. I like striking while the iron is hot and painting these guys while I'm still excited about it and a new release doesn't hit the studio in the meantime. So there you go, guys. I hope you like this look at an unboxing of Blood Red Skies, the Battle of Midway. And the game itself, I've played it before and it's a lot of fun. I wish I could play it more often. And now with the introduction of my favorite theater of World War II, it's a no-brainer for me, so I'm really excited to get it. All right, there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please do consider giving us a like and subscribe. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see more Blood Red Skies coverage. I do want to do more. And if there is an interest, maybe getting some battle reports up on the channel as well. So again, let me know down in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching though, and keep on gaming.